Good afternoon, everyone. Suddenly in the news, increasing chaotic volatility ahead. The new normal. Head honcho JP Morgan quits, talking about a simultaneous collapse of currency and payment systems ushering in central bank digital currencies pronto. 1/5 of U.S. beef capacity wiped out. Another cyber attack. This time it's food. Before it was energy. Speaking of gas, going to $5 a gallon. And if you want to drive yourself to a new state, the list of rent levels. Red is increasingly hot. Investors could still see some of the strongest price action in gold this year, according to Wells Fargo, which sees signs of a developing rally. Money managers believe we could see inflation reach new levels that we have not seen since the Jimmy Carter era. For centuries, investors around the globe have turned to gold in times of economic uncertainty. Gold supplies have flipped from excessive to deficient, and such times in the past have sparked some of gold's strongest price rallies, unquote. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no fee for life IRA. So go ahead and give the folks at Patriot Gold Group a call to discuss physical gold and silver. And the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 5 years in a row from 2016 until present. Click the link in the description box below for more information. And now on with the video. Let's start you off here. Factoid, American beef giants. Obviously Cargill and Tyson. LC and then JBS, 23% almost. Pink is where we're focused. Red meat is, well, offline. About 1/5 of U.S. beef capacity wiped out. JBF's cyber attack originally started in the United States, spread to Canada, now it's down in Brazil. So forced shutdowns of some of the world's largest slaughterhouses. Minimum that they're looking at right now is a reduction of 22,500 cattle going through the processing facility. Then you need to multiply that by, I'll be generous, and say 800 pounds. You can see how much beef's not being processed at the moment daily. And then halted processing across multiple countries now. And the end of the paragraph right there that says signs that closures are spreading. So what is it now? We had gasoline pipelines messed with, and now it's the food supply. If you haven't gotten the message that you might want to get a little ready for these changes, it's never too late. And speaking of food prices, this off the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. I shook my head. Year-on-year jump of 30% for food inflation. Agriculture grains. So let's dive into this World Food Price Index. The yellow line is where we're looking. Up 30% year-on-year. So correct. The only time it was close to that was 2009 financial collapse coming back in, and the spike in 2011 with the horrible grain yields setting future price skyrocketing in 2011. We're getting really close to that. The only other time on record going back where we might see another spike like this, the 1970s. And diving into whether cereal, dairy, oil, meat, or sugar, you can see oil's taking the lead there. This is on a sub-index, and you can jump over to Saxo Group and check that one out if you like. Everything's linked in the description box below if you want to do more information research. But it does look like we're heading right back up to the 2011 highs, all-time record highs, and then we'll be eclipsing that by the end of the year. Devalued dollar, they're talking about negative interest rates across the U.S. starting in August of this year, which is a new one I just came across, which lends credence to this headline here, increasing chaotic volatility ahead. Now, they put out 3 possible scenarios of inflation, deflation, but then the third possibility few want to consider, increasing chaotic volatility as the new normal with gigantic wild swings between both inflation and deflation. I didn't see the word hyperinflation sprinkled in the article, but it gives you a really good idea of what the top economists, as a pooled idea think tank, are coming up with here. ferocity of amplitude is not really a kind set of words I want to see describing the future of our world for food prices and daily money outlays to keep your life at the base minimum. Pile on top of this, top JP Morgan icon leaving. And here's what I picked out as a paragraph of an incredibly lengthy article, which I encourage you to read because it is how the top people at JP Morgan are foreseeing the future of our economy moving through with the transition, not only on the derivatives market of $4 quadrillion switching over to the Ripple liquidity and also Ripple net for settlement, but also how they envision simultaneous collapses of fiat currencies and the payment systems to facilitate fiat settlements. Hence the reason for central bank digital currencies and introduction and integration of RippleNet, Ripple on-demand liquidity. Humpty Dumpty's broken and it's not coming back is the message here. Even with the Fed's open market, purchase of stocks in reverse, systemic crash of fiat never to be repaired. We're going to switch systems. So if you think your investments are safe, I've seen, like I said, that negative interest rates article was surprising today. And wherever you look, might be good to take some of those dollars and turn them into physical goods because when that happens, supply chains are going to get locked for an enormous amount of time. And another cartoon that was included in a couple of these bevy of articles that I've been reading to try to piece a few things together. And this sums it up so well. And while the end of the world scenario will be rife with unimaginable horrors, we believe that the pre-end period will be filled with unprecedented opportunities for profit, unquote. Banking and manufacturing sector, that's what they think. What do you think when your dollar devalues to 1/1000th of its previous buying power? And another distant early warning for summer here, gas going to $5 a gallon. There's a bunch of new legislation in it with new taxes. In addition to green agendas, they're going to drive up the price of gas starting in July of this year, 2021. Now, California drivers are going to get hit first and look for $5 a gallon as soon as these new mandates go into effect. It's going to affect gasoline refineries and also the emissions coming out of cars, road taxes, etc., all wrapped into a pocket-draining package. But it will soon pervade the U.S. Although, be happy in the U.S., we have some of the lowest gasoline prices in the world. But if you're going to drive yourself to another location and escape the horror show of your own state, whatever that would be, this is the apartment list of city rent estimates. Blue is complete crash. New York, etc. Red and orange, red hot on the heat map. So wherever you see those dots, A, it's going to be almost impossible to get a place, and it's going to be incredibly expensive. So to break down a few of these, Boise's rent boom shows no signs of slowing. So Boise, Idaho, 31% increase, but then we have these other locations here showing giant spikes as well. Mesa, Arizona, Virginia Beach, Spokane, Washington. This information is all provided by Apartment List, and they also had some downtrend areas, New York City, San Francisco, etc. But another thing off a couple Bloomberg posts that I was perusing, personal savings rates. Now remember when COVID started, everybody was saving their money. They didn't know what tomorrow would bring. As the lockdown measures eased, so does the necessity to save. But I'm like, wait a second, all the other slides I just showed you add up to this should be about 5 times higher than it is right now to get through some of these conundrums coming up. One will be you need to grow your own food. You know, this grand solar minimum, wiping out crop production, Brazil in the 100-year drought, California in another 100-year drought, Australia coldest ever onset to the winter, United States far behind in the planting, Canada really far behind in planting, massive floods in China even worse than last year. Food prices up. You're going to have to take some of your own sovereignty back by growing your food and at the same time, storable foods, emergency food supply, 2-week, 4-week, 1 month, 6 month, 1 year. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030. Give yourself a peace of mind knowing you have storable foods so you don't have to run out to the markets and you can outwait some emergencies. That link's in the description box below. It's a great way to support the channel so I can bring you more research just like this. I do appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.